Scott and I have seen one of the last big movies of summer 2013.
Let's call it the last big one.
Okay, it's fittingly called The World's End. It's directed by Edgar Wright, stars Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, a couple of guys we've seen on film a lot. We love these two, don't we?
I haven't had a drink for 16 years, Gary. You must be thirsty then.
We've got Simon Pegg playing the most annoying drunk.
He's Gary King.
Gary King.
Yeah, who was the king of his high school.
Yeah, he wants to bring all of his old mates back to the town where they all grew up.
Were you the king of your high school?
No, hardly. But he wants to bring them all back to his old town and for all of the guys to kind of recreate this famous pub crawl that they weren't able to complete back in the day. The Golden Mile.
Yeah. It'll be just like it always was, except this time we're going to finish this thing once and for all.
And I like the montages at the start of this movie. They're a lot of fun. We get to see them in their younger versions. We get to see Gary, Simon Pegg's character, wearing this long black trench coat. And then fast forward 20 years, and he's still got the same haircut. His hairline is receded quite a bit.
Mess.
He's still wearing the same long black coat, and he's still trying to recreate the moment when he really, literally was the king of this one time in history. And he's no longer.
You're proud of it? I am a bit.
Is this what you wanted to tell me?
No, this is.
He just pushes the boundaries.
He's so unlikable, and I like the fact that he embraces his unlikable. Yeah, everybody. You do. You want to strangle him as soon as you see him on screen, and he's such a jerk, and he's so selfish to everybody. And
it's
that's
really
really
exhausting, though. I have to say. I mean, it's exhausting to watch that because they milk it. You know, they go about as far as you can take it.
Gary, are you serious? I haven't seen you in 20 years. Do you really think I'm going to have sex with you in the ladies' toilet?
With the disabled is out of order.
And then they switcheroo with this sci-fi Twilight Zone kind of concept in here where, you know, it's almost like an invasion of body snatchers kind of idea. Don't want to go too far into this whole premise because it's kind of taking some of the...
It's not that interesting.
It isn't that interesting.
You're not spoiling that much.
And that's kind of my issue with the film, is that this is another one of their Cornetto trilogy that they're talking about here, with this and Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead.
Leave a light on, good lady, for though we may return with a twinkle in our eyes, we will in truth be blind. Drunk.
I feel like just when they start to get to some interesting subject matter, where they really start to call Gary out on some of his selfish behavior, when you can see the old guard confronting the new guard.
It is not the same anymore, Gary. And it's not that the town's changed, we have changed.
That's when the movie turns away from that problem, and it just turns into this whole robot fight in a restroom thing.
Turns into Robotron.
And I just started to really get into the movie, and I'm just like, this is going to go to some really dark, weird, cool places that we've never been to before, and instead I get aliens that are getting their heads punched off and blue ink flying everywhere. You know what this movie made me want to do is go on the Golden Mile pub crawl through this town in England. I don't drink anymore, but man, did I ever want a pint when I saw this. I mean, it really, like all those close-up shots, the way that the beer is fetishized in this movie.
You know, one of my favorite bits in this thing, though, is that they keep going to these pubs, which are supposed to be old English treasures, and they've all been franchised. They're all the Starbucks of pubs now.
They go from one into the next one. I mean, that is one of the funnier. There are lots of funny moments here, and I think if you're a fan of the first two movies in the Cornetto trilogy, I think you're going to probably have a good time here. You have to see this. Victor Lucas, score up The World's End.
7.5. How about you?
Gets a 6.5 from me.